You're a fourth year medical student, you should know this already. Been the mommy and it can be really difficult to think of who you are outside of being a medical student. I never really believed in myself as a person and recently came out of a very long-term relationship. People think I'm from the UK or America. I just felt like studying defined me for a very long time. Hello beautiful friends, I hope you're doing well today. I haven't had a chance to do a get to know me video yet and I get a lot of questions over on my Instagram from all of you. So I decided let's do a quick Q&A while I get ready for the day. I have my makeup over here. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Christina. I'm a fifth year medical student and I love sharing study tips, productivity hacks, and just medical school life in general. So if you're looking for a few more informative vlogs, then I will post some videos down below in the caption. If I keep looking over to the side, it's because I have all of your questions that you asked me over on my Instagram on my laptop. I'm going to do my makeup while we answer some of your questions that you have been dying to know. I start exams next month and I genuinely don't know how I'm going to balance social media with medical school and exams. I've never done social media through an exam season before. Last year during exam season, I was quite small on social media. I don't know if I should do what all the other med influencers do, where they basically take a break and they delete all their social medias over the exam season. But at the same time, like, I don't want to just abandon social media. Like, I really enjoy communicating with you, making content, but at the same time, it is a very full on schedule. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should delete social media, maybe reduce my posting to a few times a week? Let's get into the questions. I grouped these questions into categories because I got a lot of the same questions. So I'm not going to read them word for word from what you asked, but I've definitely made sure that they're all in here, don't worry. What made me decide to pursue a career in medicine? Since I was a little girl, I've always been that person who wants to look after everyone. I have been the mommy since I was a little girl. I always tried to bandage up my brothers. I was always the bossy kid who wanted to be in charge of the other kids. And I really found a passion for medicine and science when I was in high school. I loved, oh, jump scare. When I was in high school, I really enjoyed biology, which is very interesting because in grade 8 and 9, I hated plant biology and I really didn't think that I was going to take it in grade 10 because we get to choose our subjects. But I really fell in love with medicine, the concept of helping people. Science, I've always been a science girly. So I would say around about grade 10 was when I really decided that medicine is the one for me, and I just couldn't see myself in any other career. I really enjoy the clinical interaction with patients. I don't see myself sitting behind a desk. Oh, the light is gone. Sorry. I don't see myself sitting behind a desk. I wanted to be in a role where I could help people directly, but also at the same time get to use the science and the love for science. I also have always enjoyed doing community service, serving my community. So I really feel like medicine combines my love of science and always asking questions and wanting to know how things work with helping my community. And I just think that medicine is such a beautiful holistic degree that allows you to touch so many people's lives in such a personal way. And I'm very excited about the future. I know that it's going to be quite a long, arduous journey, but I'm excited nonetheless. There were so many questions about my relationship status. Am I married? Am I single? How long have I been in relationships for? Am I a relationship girly? So I recently came out of a very long-term relationship, almost, I think it was just under 3 years. That ended about 4 or 5 months ago now. And I have always been a relationship girly in the sense that my shortest relationship was maybe a year and my longest relationship has been under 3 years. So I've always been a very long-term relationship person. I'm a ride or die type of person. I give my all into the relationships. So I think it's really good that I'm now taking a break from relationships and focusing on who I am as a person, understanding what my likes and interests are, because I tend to give a lot to the person that I'm in a relationship with. Oh my gosh, the sun. I tend to give a lot to whoever I'm in a relationship with. I am just very much, my love language is acts of service, gifts. Just, I love doing. The sun just keeps coming in and out. I'm really sorry about that. I do tend to put my all into relationships, which is not a bad thing, but I tend to neglect myself as well. So no, I'm not in a relationship, but I also don't plan to be on one for a while, at least until I'm graduated, because I want to take this time to focus on me, focus on who is Christina, put some time and energy into looking after myself and so deciding what I want out of a relationship, because I always feel that I give a lot, but I don't necessarily get that same energy back. So I want to just really use this time to understand what I want out of a long term partner, because the next person that I am with, I would like it to be a long term relationship and something that, could potentially result in marriage one day. But like I said, I need to figure out who is Christina outside of a relationship and just start giving more love to me as opposed to whoever I'm in a relationship with. How do I balance my medical studies with all my other interests? I used to be the type of person who was 110% dedicated to my studying. I literally did nothing outside of studying. It was, I just felt like studying defined me for a very long time. I've always been an academic related person, and I just got to the point where I couldn't do that anymore. Like, I couldn't just focus just on studying 24/7. So I decided to implement certain things into my life that balanced medicine as well as my other hobbies, content creation. I love cooking, I love baking, gardening, reading. I have so many things outside of medicine that make me me. So I did do a video, I'll link it here, on how to balance your life in medical school. But the main thing is just prioritization. Make a list of things that are really important to you and schedule time for those things, because otherwise medicine just consumes your life entirely. And you know I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and we were talking about what we would define ourselves as outside of medicine. And it can be really difficult to think of who you are outside of being a medical student or a doctor or a nurse or in the healthcare profession. So I really encourage you that while we still have the time in medical school, to find out who you are outside of medicine and prioritize that. Put time, energy, and effort into pursuing hobbies and goals. But again, watch the video, I go into more detail there. Do I have any siblings? I come from a very blended family. My parents were divorced when I was 2 years old. They had me quite young. And I have a brother with my mom and dad. And then I have a younger brother with my mom and stepdad. And then I have two little sisters with my dad and stepmom. I'll put pictures of my family over here. And love my siblings. I'm a very family orientated person. I am the oldest, if you couldn't tell. I have very older sister energy. I would do anything for my family. They are very near and dear to my heart. And I think that is why I've struggled a lot with studying abroad, is not having that access to my family as much as I would have liked it. Oh, there's a cute kitty on the road. Sorry, I love cats. My brothers are 24 and 19, and my sisters are, I want to say 6 and 8. I'm very bad with ages and birthdays. Please don't come for me. I hope those are the correct ages. But if any of my family are watching this, I love you guys. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you soon. What is my most embarrassing story in medical school? I don't think I have any like really embarrassing stories. I am a very anxious person in general. I tend to over prepare for clinicals so that I don't find myself in an embarrassing moment. I think the one thing that happened was when I was in South Africa doing a observationship in the hospital, and this neurosurgeon, he came down to the emergency ward because one patient had a ingrown toenail and they were a diabetic, and we all know that with diabetics they have poor vascularization, so any cut or scrape can lead to a serious infection. He had to come remove the ingrown toenail, and he was asking me to go from head to toe, labeling all the different complications that a diabetic could present with, and I blanked hard, like completely. I could not remember anything, like from nothing. And he was just staring at me, and he was like, "You're a fourth year medical student. You should know this already." And I was so embarrassed that I could not recall anything from the top of my head. Yeah, that was very embarrassing for me. The other time I was in a clinical OSCE situation, my hands get very sweaty when I'm doing clinical OSCEs. I just get very nervous, and I had to put on the gloves, and for some reason they put 3 different sizes in front of you. You should know like what your size is, so I normally get a medium. But when I'm doing clinical OSCEs, I'll always put a large on just because my hands get so sweaty. And for some reason I grabbed the small, and the gloves broke as I put them on, and I tried to put them on like 4 different times and they kept breaking, and the lecturer was just very disappointed in me, and it was very embarrassing. Where am I from? I get so many questions. A lot of people think I'm from the UK or America. They think I have a British accent, but I was born and raised in South Africa, sunny South Africa. I went to an IEB school, which is probably why I have more of an English accent. Also, South Africa was a British colony, so I think we speak more British English than American English. But I am now studying in Georgia, finishing off my degree. I was in Ukraine before, then the war started. I had to transfer over to Georgia. I do have a previous degree from the University of Pretoria in South Africa as well, in BSc Medical Sciences. And yes, I do plan on going back home to South Africa after I graduate. I do plan to do my internship and clinical years there. I would like to practice in South Africa. I'm not too sure if I will ever move to Canada, the UK, or America, but as of right now, I am a South African girly through and through. I can't wait to go home. What are my top study tips? I made a very in-depth video that I will link here on my different study tips. But off the top of my head, flashcards, active recall, and question banks. I used to be the note girly. In my BSc undergrad, I would make notes on everything. I did not have the life that my friends had because I was constantly studying. And I just don't think note taking is effective in medical school. There's so much information out there that has already been pre summarized for you. So, might as well save the time and just use question banks so that you're using active recall, use flashcards, Anki, as well as online systems. I personally use Osmosis. I'll link down below a free membership link that you can use. I love Osmosis. I've also used QuizMed. InHub is really good. Ska for OSCEs, where you can like talk to the virtual patients to practice your OSCE and clinical reasoning skills. Those are also very good. So my study tips would definitely be start using flashcards, use question banks to practice your exam questions, and stop taking notes. I haven't made notes since I started medical school. How am I doing mentally? Right now, I'm a little bit tired, I'm not gonna lie. I think that everything that happened in Ukraine, having to transfer universities, adding an extra few months onto my studies because of the transfer, and also just being homesick has already gotten to me. I'm ready to go home for holiday and just have a little bit of a reset. It has been a very, very difficult journey, this whole medicine journey. Obviously, I started my medicine journey in 2020, and literally 2 months after I started medical school, COVID happened. So I've just had a very bumpy ride when it comes to med school, but I know that it will all be worth it at the end of the day. It's just right now, I'm very excited to just go home and have a bit of family time. I haven't seen my family in almost 2 years, which is the longest I've ever been away from them. And I think I'm just ready for a reset. And I'm so excited for exams to be over. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I am already on holiday mode. Like, it hasn't registered in my brain that we start exams in 2 weeks' time. How do I stay motivated to study? Great question. Right now, my motivation is lacking because I am on holiday mode and I would really like to be sitting on a beach somewhere. However, again, I did make a good in-depth video on how to stay motivated. I will link it over here for you. My main thing is just looking at it in bite-sized pieces. So instead of getting overwhelmed by the bigger picture and thinking, oh, I still have this many years left, I still need this many exams, I look at the near future and what I can control right now. Also looking at the reason why I started medicine and why I wanted to do it in the first place. I'm so excited to help my community, help people in need. I'm very passionate about equal healthcare access, no matter what your socioeconomic background is. I am very excited to be an active member in my community and serving people who need it the most. So that's what I like to keep in mind whenever I am feeling a little bit demotivated. And something that really kicks it up a gear is when I realize that we will be responsible for human lives one day. So I like to use that to just be like, just study a little bit harder, take it seriously. It's a job where we are directly responsible for the health and well-being of others. How do I exercise? That is a great question. I have been very bad with my exercise routine lately. I just have so many rotations and lots of things going on. I would love to prioritize my exercising a little bit more. However, I do like to, rule of thumb, move my body for at least 15 to 20 minutes a day. I have found that for me right now, in the time of life that I'm in, home workouts work best for me. I used to have a gym membership, but it was just a waste of money because I was not going enough because I didn't prioritize it, to be honest with you. So I find 10 minutes at home workouts are great. I do a lot of Move with Nicole Pilates workouts, as well as Yoga with Adrian workouts. And then I also like to make sure that I'm walking. The bus stop from me is about a 15 to 20-minute walk. So I do get in some walking during the day as well, but I would like to start up again at the gym now that it is summer. I would like to consistently incorporate more exercise into my routine because it's just very good for your mental health, mental focus, clarity, and obviously all the other added benefits of exercising. Do I ever get imposter syndrome and how do I deal with imposter syndrome? Yes, I do. Imposter syndrome has been the bane of my existence since I was a tiny little girl. I've always felt that I'm not good enough for whatever that I want to do. I've always downplayed my achievements and I've always said to myself, if something good happens, it's not because I worked hard or because I deserve it. I always convinced myself that I got something because it was either a fluke or it was just by chance, like I didn't deserve it. And that was my mentality for a very long time. I would say up until maybe a year or two ago. I never really believed in myself as a person and any of my skill sets that I had to contribute to the world. I would always make excuses if I did well. And I just never thought that I was good enough, especially in medicine. I never thought that I was smart enough to study medicine, even though my grades clearly indicate that I'm fine. I am more than capable of studying for medicine. And what really helped me with imposter syndrome was realizing that everyone is also faking it till they make it. No one has the answers. I used to think that I was the only person who didn't know what was going on, but you know what? Everyone is just figuring stuff out as they go along. And if I was able to get into as many spaces as I am, if I was able to achieve what I've already achieved with thinking that I'm not good enough, imagine what I would be able to achieve once I started believing in myself. Around this time last year, I started really backing myself and being like, you know what, you are smart, you are intelligent, you are hardworking, you are worthy of love, and stop making up excuses for when I did well. Because I was so scared of failure that I would already assume I was going to fail, so that if I did fail, I would be like, oh, but I knew that I was going to fail. And I decided to not have that mindset. And I was having a conversation with my then boyfriend, and something clicked in me where I realized, what if I reframe that narrative? What if I believe I can do these things? What if I believe I am worthy? And I genuinely think that's when my life started taking a different trajectory. I started believing in myself. I started content creating. I started not caring what other people think. If people think that I'm not good enough to be in that space, that's their problem. I'm still going to take up that space. I'm still going to be where I believe I should be. And I also learned that if you don't ask, you don't get. I used to constantly make myself small. I have a very big, bubbly personality. So I would always make myself small because I never want people to feel uncomfortable. I don't want people to feel like they are not welcome in a space or that their achievements are not good enough. I've always tried to be another person's hype man or hype person. So I used to make myself a lot smaller so that I wouldn't take away from other people. And I realized that it's okay to also celebrate me every once in a while. Obviously, not like I'm still a very big high person. I still always give space and room to people. But I realize that when someone compliments me, I don't have to downplay those compliments. I don't have to be like, oh yeah, but I don't have to make excuses. I'm saying thank you and I appreciate that. Thank you for, recognizing my hard work and my achievements. And I don't think imposter syndrome is ever going to go away. I think that for as long as I am in the academic field or existing, I'm always going to feel like I don't know enough. I'm not the smartest person in the room, which is also okay. It's good to not be the smartest person in the room because then it means that you're growing and you're learning. But with regards to imposter syndrome specifically, what I like to do is whenever I feel like I'm not good enough, I don't belong here, I look at all my things that I've already achieved in the past, and the mere fact that I'm standing in that space means I deserve to be there, if that makes sense. So I try to convince myself. I'm not saying that it's easy and that I have figured out imposter syndrome, but once you realize everyone is really just taking life one day at a time and we're all just trying to do our best, it puts a lot of things into perspective. So if you are battling with imposter syndrome or just feeling like you're not good enough, just remember that an opportunity would never present itself to you if you were not worthy of that opportunity, if you did not deserve that opportunity. Opportunities always present themselves to people who deserve them, but you need to take those opportunities with both hands and be grateful, and also realize that you need to back yourself. In this world, no one is going to back you unless you back yourself. You need to show people why you deserve to be there. And if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? So, my main tip is to tell yourself every morning how worthy you are, how loved you are, and start speaking kinder to yourself. I find that as medical students, we don't speak very kindly to ourselves. We're always telling ourselves that we're not smart enough, we're not good enough, we don't know enough. And if you keep telling yourself negative thoughts are going to be the only things that are being said about you. So start being kind to yourself. Kindness is free. I'm a very passionate person about being kind. I don't believe that we should be mean to people. It is unnecessary. So why be mean to yourself? Whenever you have a mean thought or a negative thought about yourself, try reword it in a positive way. Try reframe it. It's hard, but over time it becomes a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie, it's very difficult doing your makeup while talking. I don't think this is my best attempt, but this is what we're working with. Thank you to everyone who sent me a question. This was so much fun. I really hope that you got to know me a little bit better. If I didn't answer the question that you specifically wanted, put it down below and I'll answer you in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it if you could like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel. I can't believe we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I can't wait to see where the channel grows. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.